Well, today I wanted to talk to you. I'm going to shift over here for a little bit. Today I wanted to talk to you about something that matters to each one of our businesses as well as our personal lives, and that's communication. We all talk all the time, right? We're communicating with clients, we're communicating with friends, we're communicating with kids. But a lot of times we don't realize that we're communicating in more than one way. We use our words to say the things that we need to say, to deliver the verbal message that we need to deliver. So in using the words that are memorable words, you create, more vivid visual words, you can create a message that's memorable. Now, one of the things that I wanted to share with you today is there are three types of connectors, of communicators that we use. Anybody know what they are? Speaking, there's words, body language, texting. Texting has become a new medium, you're right. But the other one's facial expressions, and that's the one we forget. Because when people read or hear our message, they hear all three at the same time. When you're talking to somebody and you're looking at them, you're listening at their words, you're watching what their body is doing, but you're also looking at their facial expression. Have you ever talked to somebody who gave you an incongruent message? And they said one thing, and their face wasn't clued in at all. That happens a lot on television. But in person, what we see is people who say, I'm really excited to be here. I'm really glad that you all invited me. Thank you so much for being here. And I want to share this absolutely wonderful thing with you so that, you're excited about it as I am. Did I forget to clue my face in? I think I did. And my voice, because people hear what your face is saying. They really do. And when you're delivering a message to your clients or to your kids, your face is saying one thing and your voice is saying another, or your words are saying another. Do you know what happens when the mind gets confused about what's going on? It goes elsewhere. So what you end up with is a room full of people who are looking at you, or one-on-one, someone who is looking at you, but is absolutely not hearing you because they have checked out and gone elsewhere. Your mind says, this doesn't make any sense to me, and I'm really not going to bother to figure out what it is you're trying to tell me, so never mind, I got other things to do. I'll just sit here and be polite, because polite was what I was taught to do. So I'm going to be polite, and I'm just going to sit here and not be there. And that's when you start noticing that people that you're talking to glaze over. You're familiar with that glazed over look that you get, and people just go away. And you feel, well, what did I do? I said all the right things. You did. But that wasn't all that was talking. Your body was talking too. Your body was saying, we are having a really good time. I'm really excited to see you. And I just, I just love what we're doing here. And feel free to get in contact with me anytime. I really want to hear what you have to say. So please get in contact with me. Call me. You've got my email address. You've got my website. I want to stay connected. Yeah, exactly. Your body is talking. Your face is talking. Your words are talking. And your voice is talking. If you talk to somebody who's got a monotone voice, they put you to sleep, first of all, because the mind gets into this rhythm and it's like, okay, we're going to keep going like that. And since there's nothing that catches my attention, there's nothing that makes me snap, there's nothing that makes me come back into the conversation, my mind's got other things to do. Because we all have other things to do, right? We're here because we chose to be here. But if we're bored, we can certainly find something else to do, right? We can think of anything. We can make lists of things. The human body is a wonderful thing. It can do all kinds of multiple things at the exact same time. And if you give it the opportunity to do so, it will. And so it is imperative that we actually know how we're communicating out to other people. We know what kind of message we're delivering to other people. We know facially, physically, verbally, and audibly what kind of message we're putting out and who's actually hearing what we have to say. And so, in order for you to do that, and a lot of people already know how to do that. And everybody in professional speaking, and I'm a Toastmasters, they all say, practice, practice, practice. And that's true. You really do have to practice. But the question is, what are you practicing? Are you only practicing the words? Or are you practicing the vocal intonation? There's a melody that everybody's voice has, no matter what pitch your voice is at. Now, I happen to be a fairly low pitch for a woman, but there are women who speak a lot higher than I do, but we still have a melody. We go up when we have a question, we come down when we finish a sentence. It's all the melody of the communication that we get. If you constantly leave your clients like this, after a while they're like, when is this person ever going to end anything? I'm not getting an end to anything. So I really do need to either decide I'm not going to talk to them anymore because I'm confused, or I decide that like I said, my mind's got something else to do, so I'm going to go do something else. So there's a tool that everybody can use, and it's a real simple tool, and this is going to be a real short thing, but I want you all to give this a try. Everybody's got a cell phone, right? Okay, pull your cell phone out. I know usually in meetings they say, put your cell phones away. Pull your cell phones out. Now, if you simply hit the button and it lights up, you get to a screen, you're probably going to have some kind of a reflective surface. Depending upon the type of cell phone that you have, you may not have a reflective surface, but everybody's got a camera, right? Everybody's got a camera. Turn your camera on. And then turn it around and let it face you. Everybody know how to do that? If you look, and I'm not going to ask you to record yourself, but I am going to ask you to look at yourself. I am going to ask you to look at yourself, because here's the deal. We don't have eyes that turn around and focus out. So we really don't know how other people are seeing us. Your camera or any reflective surface will allow you to see how other people are seeing you. And one of the things that you learn how to do when you're looking at that reflective surface is you get a chance to see what your face looks like, and then you think about it and realize, how does that feel? How does it feel when I do this versus when I just do this? It's a big smile versus a small smile. Which do you like better? It's and I'm very animated. I was fortunately and unfortunately, I was professionally trained as a child, and enunciation was the key. Well, nobody cares how pretty little kids need to. So I do this mouth thing, right? And it's ingrained in me because it's part of my elementary training. So I speak and a lot of enunciation. So there's a lot of mouth movement when I speak. I've tried to control it. It's not working, so I just go with it. So, but you see what you look like when your mouth is moving. A lot of people, when they talk, their nose goes up and down. I'm not trying to make you self-conscious. I just want you to know that when you communicate, the people in front of you see all of that. They see the ears wiggling, the nose moving, the mouth going. They see it all. If you open your mouth wide and your tonsils are visible, they know what your tonsils look like. So how are you communicating? What are you doing physically when you're sharing information with someone? And is that sharing of information making your point? Is it getting the point across that you wanted to get across? If you're trying to say to them that I am a very professional person, I'm in the banking industry, I'm more demure in what I have to say, and if you're as animated as I am doing that, it's going to look a little different to everybody because I'm very animated when I'm speaking. Being able to calm that animation down would require that I pay close attention to what my hands do, because I'm always doing this. I have the opposite problem. I have to make sure that I don't do this too much, and you guys are like, what's she doing with her hands? She dealing cards? What's she doing? I have to make sure that the hand movement stays calm so that you pay attention to the words. In project management, we use the three-legged stool of time, quality, and money. In speaking, you actually have something similar, and it is visual, auditable, and then cognitive, the words that you use. And if you pay attention to those three things, you will find that you can get your message across a lot better. You can make sure that you don't have to take 20 minutes to convey a message. You can probably convey that message in 5 minutes if you're conveying your message with all of the communicators. So how many communicators do we have? All of us? We have, and we have the visual, meaning the face expressions, the auditable, meaning the words that you use, and the physical, meaning what your body is saying, that's communicating all at the same time. So I want you to use your cell phones for something. You don't have to record yourself, but I want you to pick your cell phone up. I want you to turn your camera on so you can see yourself. And I want you to look, I want you to say something very excited, a phrase, a very excitable phrase, but I want you to not clue your face in. So, so we're gonna keep a very dull, dry face, but we're gonna be really excited about the words that we use and what we have to say. So I want you to go, give that a shot, see what that feels like. Do you believe yourself?
No.
No, of course not. You don't believe yourself. You do not believe yourself. Well, guess what? Neither do people you're talking to. When you start talking and you haven't put all of the pieces together in order to communicate, the people who are listening to you don't believe you either. And and who do we do business with? People? What kind of business do we do business with? People we do business with? People we know, like, and trust. If I don't believe you, I can't trust you. If I can't trust you, am I going to buy from you? Nope. Always says yes. No, we are not going to trust people that we don't believe. So you need to make sure that your message is actually getting across in every aspect. And your cell phone is going to be your best friend. Because no matter how you practice at home, when you're out and you're among your clients or you're among your networking groups and you're talking to other people, you're speaking to them. You don't have your mirror in front of you when you're speaking to them. And what you're actually doing is kind of going on faith, right? But if you knew what your face felt like when you are smiling, then you would know from the way your face feels whether you're actually engaging them, whether you're smiling, whether you're not, you would know what you're doing. So you know what they see because you know what it looks like, what it feels like when you're giving them the message that you want them to have. And so in doing that, if you are paying attention with your mirror and paying attention, or your camera, and paying attention to where your face is and how your face is situated, then you know what kind of message you're giving across with your face. That's two communicators, because you already wrote it, so you know the words, and now you know how you're presenting it with your facial expression. Last thing to do is what you're doing with your body. And the two things that are probably the most visual or the most telling is where you put your arms, because a lot of times nobody's paying attention to where you put your legs. So it's where you put your arms. Are they up over your head? Do you have them flailing around? Are you folded in any way? Are you showing total fear? Because a lot of this, it can control not just the fear you have, but your display of the fear. See, it's not bad to have fear. It really isn't. Fear protects you. But it sometimes is debilitating if that fear can't be controlled. If you can't control the fact that I'm scared and I'm doing it anyway, or if you can't control the fact that I'm sweating I'm sweating, I got water dripping off my face, I'm visibly shaking while I'm talking. So if you know how to handle, or you've decided, because everything starts with a decision, and you decided how you're going to hold your hands, then you know where they are and you know what they're doing when you're talking to other people. If you decide that I'm going to keep them calmly at my sides, I'm going to let them flow periodically, then you know where they are and you know what they're doing. And because you've made that decision and because you've seen yourself, then you're typically not going to end up doing one of these things, right? If you decide you need to be a little more expressive, you need to share a little more, you need to draw them in a little more, then you can use your hands and your arms in order to build that image. And that's communication as well. So the question is, how do you really want to communicate? We've all got the words down pat. We study the words. We know what words we want to say. Everybody's got a tagline. Everybody's got this short little message that they want to just give to the world. And they want the world to hear this message every single time, because that message is the one that reminds everybody of what you deliver. However, not everybody pays attention to what else you're saying when you're giving that message.
They read you as well as hear you.
They read you as well as hear you, exactly. So when they read you, what are they getting? What are you telling them? What do your words say that your face don't say? What does your words say that your body language says something different? When you give an incongruent message, you confuse the mind and it goes elsewhere, because it doesn't want to be confused, and quite frankly, it's not going to sit there and try to figure you out. You're the communicator. You're giving the message. If your message is, I'm totally confused and I don't know what I'm doing, it's like, I got that one. I can move on. I don't need to hear anything else, because you've already told me you're confused and so am I. We're on the same page. So you want to deliver a message that is in alignment with the words that you have to say. You want people to know that you are sharing, you're giving. You want people to know that your products are trustworthy. You want people to know that your customer service is exemplary. So you say all of those words, but then your face and your body have to say all of those things as well. You have to tell a complete message, because a partial message just won't get there. So let me ask you a question. Can everybody get two together? Can we get two? Yeah, I think we can. I think we can all do two. I want you to turn around to somebody that's next to you. I want you to give each other a message non-verbally. Okay? Non-verbally. How about an example? Okay, so what I want you to do is I want you to use your arms and your face in order to share just a short message, but I don't want you to say anything. Okay? Can I use you as an example? Okay. Okay. So now this is not an easy thing to do. Yes, ma'am. Now this is not an easy thing to do. So when you're doing this nonverbal communication, and the whole point of doing this nonverbal communication is for you to be able to see that there is a message getting across, but it is a message that needs, when you're doing nonverbal alone will not get you where you need to be, but it is a contributor. So you need to make sure that the nonverbal communication contributes to the verbal communication, right? Okay, so let's see, I'm not going to tell you what it is ahead of time, and then I want you to tell me what you think I was trying to get across to you. Okay, all right? This is always an interesting one. Okay, all right, so.
Okay, my response is, tell me more. Tell me more. I want to hear more.
Okay, and my message to him is, I really want you to understand what I'm saying. I want you to know that I really want to be there for you. I really want to help you. And his response was, tell me more, tell me more. Was that a reasonable response, you guys, for that message? Okay, so I want you guys to just kind of pair up for just a second, and I want each of you to give the other a nonverbal communication. Then I want you to switch, and I want you to share with it the message you were trying to get across. Okay? You willing? You willing? All right, go. You already did? Oh, okay, cool. If anybody doesn't have a partner, let me know.
Like your work. It's almost like sign language.
In a way.
Sign language.
In a way.
Way of communicating. If I look like this here.
So how we doing?
This one here. This one here says,
Okay, how we doing? Did everybody get a chance to do this at least once? Okay. Were you really effective with only the verbal and the visual, but not, I mean, without with the physical and the verbal and not the, terrible. The physical and the facial, but not the verbal? You were. Okay. So now you have proven to yourself that you can communicate that well. The question is, will you? What do you want to do? How do you want to do it? Yes?
How do you do it to a millennial?
And generational communication is a big deal these days because this is the first time in our history that we've had 5 generations all alive at the same time. We've never had that before. So we've got 5 generations all at the same time. And the millennials, you're right, they are not as visual, we'll put it. They are more contextual. So they are sending text messages and they're implying things by more of the abbreviations that they use as opposed to the facial expressions. And a good number, I won't say all of them, a good number of millennials are really not comfortable in a group where they're talking face to face. Now, how they're going to do business moving forward is going to be interesting. Because we are so accustomed to doing business face-to-face, to communicating face-to-face, and that's not necessarily the way they do business. Now, the other side too is video is very popular. Video is very popular, and they don't have a problem with video. So video may be their answer, and it may be one-way communication that they deliver. So they're delivering a message out, and they're expecting a message to come back in at another date. Make a video. Everybody, yep. But you can see all the same things with a video that you can see when you talk face to face. Okay? So videos are definitely the way to go. And I think somebody's flagging me that my time is up. So oh, yes, and she can do the video as she's doing right now. So great. So we have that reference within our group. If you've got questions or need help, she's definitely the person. Question mark. What he's learned so far. Okay. Non-verbally. Questions. It is hard to do it. It is hard to do it. And that's why your cell phone has become such an important tool. Not only is it a tool for communication for verbals, it is a tool for communication for written. It is a tool for communication to train yourself on how you look, how you communicate, how you share with other people. Yes, ma'am.
So how do you convey to a colleague or a friend if you know their personality is not as strong as, like, say, ours? Right? We're very vibrant. But that's who they are. They would say, well, this is who I am.
Right.
How do you convey your message? Because it is important to be excited about your product or service.
Right.
So what can you say to someone like that say, well, this is who I am?
Why?
Very monotone. I'm excited, but this is me.
Well,
notify your face. or your voice.
Well, here's the deal. There are levels of animation, okay? I am very animated, and I know that about myself. Not everybody is very animated, but you can still have variations in your tone, in your voice, in the way that you share your expressions. You can still create those variations. And you're absolutely right. This is information you probably have all heard, but in putting all of that information together, to learn how your face feels, to listen to what your words say, and to actually look at what your gestures are showing is the piece that pulls it all together. Having information is great. Google is the master of information. You can go to Google and get any information that you want. But until you go to YouTube and see how to apply it, it's a little bit different. You've just got information that you can't do anything with. This is the application. How do you apply this so that you can deliver your message? I teach a class delivering your intended message. And it's a 4-part segment that you can take in multiple pieces. One of them is actually delivering your message, where we work with video and we work with audio. And I work with people who are in the video and audio industries, television and radio, to make sure that they give off or they deliver the intended message that they want, both with the words and with the visuals that they use. And it actually traps and identifies some bad habits, like mine. I'm flagging planes all the time. But it tracks and identifies those habits that you had not realized that you were doing, that the people who listen to you are very much aware of. And you're not. So if you're not the one that's clued in, there's a problem there, because nothing will change if you don't recognize it, right? So the tool that I'm recommending is to use the camera on your cell phone. You've already got it with you. It's with you all the time. If you're about to go into a networking event and you're like, okay, I need to make sure that I set myself, this networking event is a little less active and a little more demure, a little more low key, so I need to set myself. So you grab your cell phone when you're in the car, before you get out of the car, and you look and you set, what am I looking like? What am I going to say? How am I going to deliver this message? So that you set yourself for where you need to be. It's no different than when you get dressed in the morning. If you get dressed in the morning and you're going to a religious establishment, a church, a mosque, a temple, wherever, you're going to be dressed a certain way because you dress appropriately for the event that you're going to. All right. It's the same way here. You dress your communication in the way that it needs to be dressed so that you can deliver it the way it needs to be received, right? Okay. I have just a quick announcement. I have on June the 7th, I'm offering a Confidence Looks Good on You workshop. It's a 2-hour workshop. It'll be offered twice on the 7th, the first time from 11 to 1 and the second time from 5 to 7. Confidence Looks Good on You is about displaying your confidence. If you are not confident, you can still appear confident if you know how to do it. When you get dressed in the morning, you put on the clothes, you comb your hair, you do whatever you need to do, but you also need to put your confidence on so that when you stand in front of the world, they know exactly who you are and what you're all about. Ladies and gentlemen, are there any questions about learning to apply the information that you already know about delivering your message? Yes.
The message I want to deliver,
yes,
is to a millennial by way of a text.
Okay.
Invariably, when I say something to my children, they're going to misunderstand me. Invariably, when my children send something to me, I'm going to misunderstand. How do I fix that?
Well, that is a generational issue, and the question that I have for you is, do you understand their language?
Probably not.
When you send a message out, you send out a long written, all the words written out language, right? Not into the abbreviations and all of those. I don't know what they are. As a matter of fact, when I see them, it looks like some kind of code or something. I don't know what it means. And it's not because I probably couldn't learn. I could learn, but I don't know. So when I communicate on my text, on my phone, when I'm texting, I write the whole words out as if I'm writing a memo. Consequently, my texts are long. Do you know how fast, you realize how fast they respond back to you? When you send them a message, do they send you back something instantly almost?
Sometimes.
Yeah. Because they relay their messages a lot quicker because they use fewer words. They don't need all of the words to get the message across. So if you learn their language and you speak to them in their language, they understand you better. They, quite frankly, do not have time for a sentence. They just don't. They have time for the abbreviations that mean the sentence, and they will pull that in because that's their primary language. My primary language is a sentence. Their primary language is a group of abbreviations with some kind of exclamation or emoji at the end of it. That's their abbreviation. For us to communicate, we need to learn one another's language so that we can communicate with them. And if that's your primary client base, that's where you're going. But you have to speak the language of the people that you're communicating with, because 9 times out of 10, they're not going to learn your language just to buy your product. Any other questions?
Awesome.
Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. I do appreciate your time. Thank you.